All right, so now that you've done some perimeter problems, now we're going to move to where we're setting up the problem and the variables are going to be on both sides of the equation. So looking at number 1, it said Bill weighs 120 pounds. So he weighs 120 pounds and is gaining 10 pounds each month. Phil weighs 150 pounds and is gaining 4 pounds each month. How many months will it take for Bill to weigh the same as Phil? So we want their weights to be exactly the same. So what are we trying to find here? We want the weights to be the same, but we're trying to figure out after how many months. That's going to be my variable. That's my key thing. If I'm trying to figure out how many of something, that is going to be my variable. How many months? Months is going to be my variable. So I'm going to put M for months, and we'll write number of months here. All right, so for our equation, we're going to set up 2 separate equations first because we have 2 individuals, right? I have Bill that weighs 120 pounds and then is gaining 10 pounds each month. And then I have Phil who weighs 150 pounds and is gaining 4 pounds each month. So let's go ahead and write an equation for Bill. And then let's write an equation for Phil. We're going to write 2 different equations. We'll have Bill's weight is equal to and Phil's weight is equal to. So Bill's weight, well, he started at 120 pounds. That's his starting weight. So whenever you see your starting, that's going to be your constant in your equation. So I'm going to have 120 pounds, and he's gaining. So gaining, we are adding 10 pounds each month. So what does that mean? Okay, after 2 months, he should gain 20 pounds, right? Or after 4 months, he should gain 40 pounds. Really what I'm doing is taking 10 times the number of months. Well, I know my number of months is M. And I'm going to be adding that because we're gaining, not losing weight. We're gaining weight, 10M, because I have 10 times the number of months. Remember, I had 40, so because if I have 4 months, it's 40 pounds, and we add 40 to the 120, and we get Bill's weight. So now we're doing the same thing with Phil. So Phil's starting weight is 150, so that's where he's starting, and is also gaining, so we're adding 4 pounds each month. So if we're adding 4 pounds each month, so let's figure out what that means. So 4 pounds each month. If I had 3 months, that means I'm going to gain 4 times 3 because that's a total number of pounds I would gain in those 3 months, which would be 12. And then we'd add it to the 150 and we get Phil's weight. So I have 150 plus 4M. For every month, I add in 4 more pounds. All right, so now we're trying to figure out after how many months, so we're going to solve for our M's. What will it take for Bill to weigh the same as Phil? Okay, the same as. We talked about words to expressions and equations. Remember, same as means equal to. So I want Bill and Phil to be equal. I want their weights to be the same. So we're going to take your 2 equations and we're going to set them equal to each other. That is going to be my equation here. So I have 120 plus 10M is equal to, because that's Bill's weight, is going to equal 150 plus 4M. And then we're going to solve. So I'm going to rewrite this down here so I can do some work here. So I have 120 plus 10M equals 150 plus 4M. And we're going to go through and solve. So remember, we like to make sure we keep our line down the middle and make sure that we keep everything on one side. So remember, the first step is to make sure we distribute. We can't distribute. There's nothing there. So now I want to combine my like terms on either side of my equal sign. So looking here, I can't combine my 10M and my 120 because they're not like terms. I can't combine my 150 and my 4M either because they're not like terms. So we're going to go ahead and now start moving our variable. So I'm going to move my 4M over to the left-hand side. So I'm going to move it so I can combine it with my 10M over here. Remember, when we're crossing that line, though, we got to use inverse operations. So I'm going to subtract 4M from both sides. My 4M's cancel. Over here, I'm left with 150. All right, I'm going to bring down my 120 because that's not changing, but 10M minus 4 gives me 6M. And now I want to move my 120 over with my 150. So I'm going to subtract 120 from both sides. And we get 6m is equal to 150 minus 120 gives me 30. Remember, two variables or a variable and a number or coefficient side by side are multiplied together. So inverse operation would be to divide by 6. 6 is cancel. I have m equals 5. All right, so what does that mean? Don't forget your labels. So that means that after 5 months, Bill and Phil will weigh the exact same. So I know that my solution is going to be 5 months. All right, you are to complete numbers 2 through 5. So you have number 2, 3 on this page, and then 4 and 5 on the back page. If you need some help, let me know. I'll be around.